Hello and welcome back, ladies and gents. Today I'm going to be doing a video. I'm going to be showing you a little bit of what I've been working on. Oh no, something took damage. Must be fixed. And I'm also going to show you a little bit of how to test out your builds in creative mode. I think I've done a little bit of this in a previous video, but I'm going to be doing some more of it and kind of getting a little bit into more depth and detail on this. So, what I've got here is a moat that I'm working on for my current place. I showed it the last time I think I did a stream. So this isn't done yet. It's gonna have a lot more going on for it, but I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna come show you a little bit of what I got done, and I'm gonna show you what I need to test out here. So, this is my castle so far, and something is really wrong with it. I think what it is either these towers here, because of the height of the castle, ended up looking far too thin, or I need something on the roof. So I have a drawbridge here. You can see this is the first side I'm working on. I have not done the other sides yet. Just doing one side at a time because of the total amount of concrete I need. Which is massive quantities. But if I back up, you can see something just isn't quite right. So I think I need to put something in the middle here of the tower. I thought originally maybe raise the roof up a bit and maybe make these, or excuse me, in the middle of the tower, the middle of the building. Maybe make these towers a little bit higher. Not sure. But I'm going to show you a little bit inside. Excuse me, not higher. A little bit wider. Just so you can kind of get an idea of what the finished product looks like. In case you're curious. Unfortunately, it's nighttime and it's not well lit in here. So I ended up having to do support pillars in here. Originally I was hoping I wouldn't have to, but basically this is the area that's touching the ground that would have lent support to the structure. But what's touching the ceiling over here does not have any support touching the ground, so that added to the overall weight. So the very tippy top of the ceiling up there was not stable. I used the wood with one upgrade of metal. The reason I did that is because it, along with scrap iron, is the highest that you can get for blocks. I'm going to turn this on real quick. There we go. Oh, it was on. There we go. Let's see here. Right here. So we have max load, and this is where you can tell how high something's stability is going to be. And the mass is 20. That means I can build out 16 blocks before it collapses, and this is not including my own weight. Once you add my weight to it, then we're going to have more stability issues, but 16, and that seems to be the max out of any other block out there. Like you can see here, steel, same deal with steel. 16 on that. Concrete, surprisingly, let's find some reinforced concrete, is less. And, let's see, plain concrete is less than reinforced concrete. Adobe is abysmal, which a lot of this is built in Adobe. So, like Soaked his place has a lot of Adobe in it, and he's been having some structural issues. So generally, let's see, let me look up scrap metal here too. You can see 320 with the mass of 20, so 16. So yeah, that's why I went with wood. Besides, I think it looks pretty good in a castle. So the inside is the wood, the outside is actually scrap metal. So there's an inside and an outside layer to add this effect. I have not decorated yet, except for one room. This is the master bedroom, since it's slightly bigger. Then we have the smaller secondary bedroom, guest bedroom. And then this is the reason that the other bedroom's slightly smaller. The only room that I've decorated yet. My bathroom. I have a nice tub in here, so... Bathroom's important. But yeah, so, just gonna take you guys up here, one of these towers. Spotlights here. They don't interfere with the ladder. There's a way to get onto the roof here. And you can see this is scrap iron on the outside. It was wood with one upgrade on the inside. The roof is wood with scrap metal siding on top of it, so you can't see the double layer. If I do like this, you can kind of see how it's sitting on top, but it's not visible. I tried the plates at first, but it was visible and it looked kind of crappy. So without having to go higher on the roof, I was able to do 2 layers by using the siding and then upgrading it with forged iron, which was really expensive, but I actually like the look of it a lot. So we come up here on the tower. And I used arrow slits and just a regular corner. Or excuse me, ramp in the corners. So you have a tower here that you can look down off of and shoot anything that's coming. I kind of wanted the distance to be better lit. I think once it's done, I'll probably put more spotlights maybe down into the pit, or maybe some sort of street lights, something. This is a little bit better lit without the mining helmet on. You can see actually pretty good if I turn it off. What all is lit up down there. Not a bad view. But yeah, okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this. And I'm going to show you a creative server. And I'm going to start with one that I've been working on a little bit so you can kind of see what I've been doing. But I'll show you first how to start a creative server. Alright, my apologies. I just needed to cough there and didn't want to do it in your ears. Alright, so when you're coming in here, you have some options. Let's see. Yeah. So here we go. So the difference between creative and survival single player is that zombies will spawn in a survival single player. You can actually come in here, I think it's somewhere under one of these options, and turn off zombie spawns. Like, you can turn on cheats, you can turn off the spawns, but I think there will be some zombies. I think if you step on a point of interest... No? They shouldn't spawn. Not really sure what the difference is. I think creative is just an easier way to do it. But the easiest way is to just come in here and choose creative, because it's got all the options that you already want set up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come into a game that I already have set up. Navezgane is usually the best option to go with, because there's some nice flat areas for you to build on. If you do a random gen, it does work, especially if you're doing something like you're playing on a server that's dedicated, rented server that a lot of people play on, and you want to see how something's going to look in a certain area, what you can do, since the server is generated based on the name of the server, is create a server on your private game that's creative with the same name as the server that's rented that you play on. So for example, ours is Center. So I could create a creative server named Center and play on that. So now I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've been doing over here. Before I started building, I came to this cornfield on Navezgane because it was nice and flat, and I started testing some of my builds. So what I'm going to do first off is show you where I am on the map, because there's some nice options in creative mode that allow you to teleport yourself around. And let me double check what the actual teleport command is. I think if I do this here and I turn on debug menu on. Alright, so then I should be able to hit escape over here, and there's an option to set position right here. So let's see if this actually works properly. If we look at the map here, you can see this marker here is going to show you, this is going to show you my current coordinates. This is going to show you where my cursor's coordinates are. But right here is the cornfield, and I'm going to hit H on my keyboard. This works for everybody since I have creative mode on. These are the default keys, and now I'll be able to hit spacebar and fly up in the air. But this is the reason I chose this place. There is a bit of corn that would have to be cleared out. It doesn't take much to clear out corn. If you want to be really lazy, grab a chainsaw and just start running, and you should be able to hold down the trigger and destroy all this corn. But this area here is huge and flat. Just grab some water. There we go. And it's perfect for building. So you can test out anything you need to test out. So we've actually done quite a few builds here on a normal server, as with our permanent home. This little shack. If you've seen any of my other videos, the shack that we built our first bunker in was inspired by this little shack, because we had basically done something similar with this little shack in the cornfield, and it was a great home. So, but now I'm going to show you kind of over here so you can kind of get an idea of what I do before a build, because I think this is really important. Because a lot of people say, how do I know how it's going to look? How do I test something without wasting my materials? And this is your answer. So what you do is, you find your nice empty spot to spawn. You're not going to have to worry about zombies over here on creative. And you hit, this is the default keys. Now just keep in mind you may have changed them. But you hit U on your keyboard. And I'm pretty sure it's the same for the North American as it is for other countries. You hit U and you get this menu that shows you all the blocks that are available. And just like on PC, if you're looking for something in your crafting menu, you can search. So say I want concrete blocks. I just start searching for concrete, and here's everything that I can get. So, and that's how I knew about these concrete trim blocks, is from playing around with creative. I love these blocks. But that way you can test out materials, you can test out, like I was talking about earlier, how far out you can build with something. So, sometimes my brain just doesn't want to math. And I'll know, what the load mass is on something. So, for example, Adobe. So we've got 65 is the max load, the weight is 13, and I'll be like, alright, well what does that mean? How far out can I build with this before it collapses? So I'll just start doing this and counting how many blocks out I can build before, there we go. And I'll say, alright, well let's just build one less than that. I think that was one less. And let's see if we can stand on top of it without it collapsing. Okay, we're good. Let's try one more. Nah, okay. So, basically that gives me sort of an idea of how far out I can build. Now granted, when you start adding extra blocks and double blocks and all kinds of things like that, it's going to make it a little bit easier to build out further, but it gives you sort of a general idea in your head. And then you can test things, like ways to make things extra stable. But, so here I wanted to test my tower design. I wanted to test sort of the look. I wanted to test the blocks here to see how it looked. And then when I got done with the towers, I wanted to test out the best possible tower top. So I started with this thing, and I decided, oh my god, no, that's a horrible monstrosity. So then I ended up testing some more blocks and taking them apart. And found, okay, this is the best one. But now I'm going to show you here a couple of things. Like I was saying earlier, the debug mode, I forgot to mention how to bring this up. So what you kind of want to do is know how to access your console command. For some people, it's F1. For other people, it's F2. So just hit your buttons until you get this to pop up. And then you're going to hit DM. This is going to turn it off for me. Just type in DM. That's debug mode. I'm going to turn it on. And it's going to bring up my debug menu. And so what that is I can hit F6. And it's going to bring up here all sorts of fun things I can spawn. This is how I got Jimmy. I think I've showed you guys Jimmy in my gas station. Not Trader Jimmy, my bandit that I named Jimmy. You can spawn a horde, you can spawn just a few zombies, whatever you want. This doesn't work well on a dedicated server for some reason. I have to type in a command to spawn them, but I can show you how to do that if you're an admin or the owner of a dedicated server and you want to spawn something. So SE stands for spawn entity, and I don't know if this is going to be the same code for me as it is on the dedicated server. 171 was my code. Actually, let's do this. Let's hit SE and enter. Okay, so this is going to kind of tell me what I need to know. So here it is. First parameter, please specify one of the players. Ray is 171, so I guess that's my designation. Second parameter, one of the entities. So let's go ahead and spawn Jimmy. My Jimmy. He's 50. I accidentally spawned 49 because Jin asked me, hey, what do the other bandits look like? And I was like, I guess it's probably one less than Jimmy. So I spawned a bear on our server and we couldn't kill it. And yeah, that was interesting. I had to find the kill all command. But anyway, let me show you what we got here. So 171, that's my code. So it's going to spawn at me. And then 50 to spawn
I'm
bandit.
gonna kill you or die trying.
Jimmy! What's up, pal? I'm just going to leave him there. He's not going to do anything. He doesn't have a gun. He's just going to run around screaming obscenities at me. But that's how you do it if you're on a dedicated server. You know what? Nah, you're dying. Sorry, pal. Alright, so the other thing that you want to do... Oops. What did I do? I made my UI go away. I've never done this before. There we go. I don't know what that macro button is on my keyboard, but evidently it makes my UI go away. 1 second. So the main point was this. If you're on Navezgane and you want to get here to this spot to be able to build in the nice flat cornfield, here's my coordinates. So let's go with 88. I'm going to go with 880650 so that actually teleports me somewhere. 880650. So let's see what this does. and then 650 and set position. And that is going to teleport me. Okay, so 650 was a little bit too far. So let's go with, what was it? Let me get some coordinates that are slightly closer. But easy to remember. Am I going the right way? Oh lord, I'm lost. This happens. So 650 was not good. So 880, 670 maybe? Let's try that. Let me stand on the ground when I do this. Alright, so hit escape again. 670. Set position. Oh, where the hell did that take? Okay, that didn't work. That just seems to want to put me next to Dyersville. If I take out these zeros? Maybe it's just kind of putting me where it wants to put me. Yeah, I think it's not going to work. Okay. So, in that case, there's another way to do it. If you take your cursor over here, and you may not be able to see what's on the map, but you can kind of see here where you're supposed to be going. So, I have this uncovered. How I got it uncovered was I was kind of guessing about the approximate location of the cornfield. And I was teleporting myself until I saw something I recognized, and then I floated to the cornfield. Because I didn't have the coordinates to start with. Oh, oh, maybe I was getting the coordinates backwards. That's why! Alright, I'm an idiot. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's try... Yeah, okay. Alright. So it could just be me. And this 880... Yeah, that worked! Okay, so it was just me being stupid. Alright, but still, there's another way to teleport yourself, and I'm going to talk about that one. So, this is something cool. Once you've got debug mode enabled, you can hold down Control, and then right-click with your mouse somewhere on the map. So, Control, right-click. And boom! You are at that location. This is awesome. I love this feature. I can just teleport myself wherever the heck I want to go. So, now I'm gonna use this again and go back to where I was. But it also works too, because if you have waypoints, so say I have a waypoint here, like, save this as snow, save this as, say here, corn. I can do this trick here, say center on map. So say I'm not really sure where something is. Like I got a list of traders, I got a huge list. I hit right here, show on map, so I can find my waypoint easily. Just control click to it, and then you want to go back to this place. Show on map again. Boom, you're there. So, easy way when you're on creative and you just want to teleport yourself around instead of having to fly everywhere or drive everywhere. You've got it. So, there's one more trick too that I'm going to show you guys. If you've got multiple people on your server, multiple people on your creative server, or you have a rented dedicated server. This is something that's kind of cool. I use it with our servers. Sometimes somebody new will come in and they don't want to, they're nervous, they haven't played the game before, they don't want to have to run to us. So there is a new command that's been added in. It's a debug command again, so you have to make sure debug mode is on. But you can type in the name of the person that you want to teleport and the name of the person you want to teleport them to. So, also, Jin she and I were out exploring the other day, and I saw where I wanted to go, and we had to drop down this very, very steep cliff that had water all around it in this one little tiny patch of land that led on to where we needed to go. So she's like, I can't make it down there. And I used this command after I made it down there. And it was, I'm using Jin and Ray as an example. So teleport player, Jin, Ray, like that. So since Jin's obviously not on here, it's not working. But if Jin were here and I hit that command, it would teleport her from wherever she is to me. Now, it can work if, say, like I'm busy and there's a new player and I want to say teleport, you know, I'm going to make up a name, say Jimmy, since we have our little bandit Jimmy, to Jin, because Jimmy's a new guy and he just started playing and he doesn't want to have to run all the way to our new base. And Jin's in the house and she's taking care of things and I'm busy, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Then I can hit this command and it'll teleport Jimmy to Jin. Obviously, since there's no Jimmy and Jin on this server, it's not doing anything. But, yeah, so here we go. This is just sort of a good idea of how it works. Now, there's some other things I want to show you too, because something that kind of bothered me when I would come over to a creative server is I would screw up something and then I would say, you know, screw up a concrete block, and I wouldn't want to have to necessarily rebuild the entire thing, but mining it out would take forever. So there is actually some commands out there to give yourself experience. So you bring up this menu again, and I think it's, let me double check this, because I think it's either add player experience. Let me look here. See, I'm going to tell you to look up the 7 Days to Die console commands list. Which is what I'm doing right now, because I thought I remembered it, and suddenly my brain just went haywire here, and I cannot remember what it is off the top of my head. So, let's see. No, not the forums list. I want the actual list. So, yeah, alright. I think it's player add XP. Oh, yeah, here we go. No, that's right. It was something strange. Okay, so it's give self XP. And this will just give you general XP if you want it. Except I can't spell. So 10,000 is a good number to give yourself. You can only give yourself one level at a time for some reason. I found with this. Wait. Why did it not give me XP? Oh, maybe I should have gone with for 100,000 here. Give self XP. Yeah, there we go. But no matter how big that number is, you only manage to get one at a time. So basically, when you're sitting here, hit your up arrow and hit enter. And just keep doing that until you're the level you want to be. Now, this isn't the only thing you can do either, because you can up your different skills too. So what you need to do is, hang on, let me just double check it. Yeah. Type in give self skill XP, and then you need to find the name of the skill. So you would think mining, it's not mining, it's mining tools. Make it, and then you give yourself mining tools. So this actually works for other skills too. So if you come in here to your skills and you see, like, say miner 69er, mine's all the way up, but how I got it up was I came in here, I hit up. You can hit up to just bring this back up so you don't have to type out the whole thing. Miner 69er. Boom. You have a point into Miner 69er. Let's see if you want... I think concrete mixing would work too. Is that what it's called? Steel smithing. Let's try that. Might have to look at the actual name. No, it's not the name. Let's see here. Hitting the wrong buttons. It is steel smithing. Why wouldn't it let me do that? Maybe because I needed tool smithing. But yeah, so you kind of get the idea. So if you want like your construction tools up, you want your tool smithing up, you want your mining tools up, all you have to do is type that in. It was kind of a pain in the ass because I had to hit up and enter 100 times to get my mining all the way up. But it does work. So it's a good way to be able to level up your tools, and that way you're not over here spending, you know, 100 years trying to knock out a block of concrete because it's a creative server and this is a new character. So, yeah, this is just sort of to give you an idea. You can come over here and you just kind of flesh out your ideas. You know, I tell people I use graphing paper a lot. I do, but I also use sort of these, you know, wood frames as graphing paper, basically, because one block is about a meter. Two, also, if you're trying to build something to scale, keep that in mind. But, you know, make that your graphing paper. Set out a lot of blocks. Test things out. Build in creative mode so you're not wasting blocks. Because, I mean, worst case scenario, you don't like what you got, you just walk down the road and you start building somewhere else. And it's no big deal. So anyway, this was just sort of my building tutorial in creative mode. I think I have done something similar, but I just kind of wanted to showcase this again. You may see something within the next few days. I do have a bunker design I want to test out. I'm not going to do it today though, but I am going to try it out on a creative server. I'm probably going to wipe this one and make another one, or just make a second creative server on Navezgane and give the bunker design a test to see how it works, because I'm thinking it will work out nicely. It won't require a lot of concrete and effort, so I'd like to do it, but yeah, maybe even later today I'll give it a shot, and I will definitely stream it. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed. Take care now. Bye-bye.